The Monday Night Law here is Kirk's Law Corner, July 20th, 2026. There we go. Just moving right on through July. On to the next. Here we go. I don't know about the rest of you, but it sure seems like time is moving a lot faster. For those of you that didn't know, it was my birthday this weekend, and apparently now I'm 55, so I'm on the, what do you call that, the low end of the senior citizens now. So I get the, some places actually start at 50, get senior discounts. So, but I swear, it just seems like I just turned 50. Now it's 55. Here we are. I can't drive 55. More like 105. So I want to thank everybody out there that did give the birthday wishes to me. Thank you, thank you. And back at you, Jacqueline. We share the same birthday, so happy birthday to you. Days. Quick shout out to everybody on the live here tonight and paying attention over here on Telegram. JPC5, Paint Gun Spooty, Wendy, Kathy Watson, Prayer Warrior, Wars for Liberty, and of course Diesel D's. Good to see you guys. Right, War Horse for Liberty. Driving is a commercial term. No, I can't travel at 55. More like 105. Oh, no, just kidding. That's referring to the song, I Can't Drive 55. Yeah, I'm showing my age, right? But, yeah. Right, Kathy, as you get older, it will just fly by. Man. Slow down. Just a little bit. Enough with this double time. And then, of course, out here on Rumble, we got Jacqueline. Good to see you. All Caps False Prophet. Good to see you. Karen. Is Mark? No, I haven't seen Mark yet. Good to see you, Karen. Yes, I'm right there with you, Tam. Bring on the med beds. Yes, bring on the med beds. Yes, yes, absolutely. They're coming. Might be coming near you soon. I did see I can't remember where that video was at, but here recently another video surfaced about med beds, and boy, it was a good one. So I should have shared it when I found it, but those are for real, you know. And you know, okay, well, wait, we got to finish up over here. People are just starting to come on from YouTube. So Michelle, good to see you, and Jeremy, glad to see you guys are both here tonight. James, good to see you, brother. There's Mark. Good to see you, brother. Glad you made it. Regina Kellum, good to see you. Made it. I don't see anybody from Facebook or X yet. No comments over there yet, so maybe just people just haven't seen that it went live yet. Holy crap, James. Yeah, if you've got guts hanging out, you might want to get that looked at. Sew that stuff up. You got a hernia? My brother's got one of those, and I keep telling him, man, bro, you got to go get that fixed. It can cause some serious problems if you've got a hernia there. And he's like, oh, just when it pokes out a little bit, I just push it back in. I'm just like, oh my gosh, no. But it's expensive, right? So be careful out there, you guys, gals, getting those hernias. Yeah. Sorry to hear that, James. You know. Well, Karen, you got a storm going on over there? Lightning took out your internet and breaker to gas stove and back room. Well, that's crazy. I know a guy can fix that. Oh, William Wainrich is out on Facebook. Thank you. Thanks for being here. So somebody's paying attention over on Facebook. Oh, I'm right there with you, Mark. We've got so much smoke right here in the valley. I mean, literally, the fire's just right up here. It started 4 days ago, 5 days ago. The last couple days, the smoke has just been so thick. I mean, literally, you could see it in the street. Like, taste it, see it, smell it. It's bad. And I've got a little bit of a sore throat and a freaking mild headache from it. I've been out in it, working in the yard and stuff, working on cars today. And the heat, man, whew. We are warm. I've seen 104 on mine just a little bit ago on my weather station. The interweb thing here says it's 101 or 102. Does it say 102 now? But where they get this from, oh, now they're saying 99. Yeah, whatever. But where this weather station gets its readings from is over here close to the river. So the closer to the river you are, the cooler it's going to be, just by sheer being next to water. That sucks, Mark. Oh. Quantum Kid, good to see you. Glad you made it. Yeah, a question out there. Has anybody noticed that bees are sparse this summer? Nah, for me, around my house, I got a crap ton of bees. In fact, it's so bad, I've got a hole drilled through my wall here to run my coax out for my CB antenna. And they have managed to decide to make a home inside the wall there. And they've been coming inside. And so I ended up getting a tube of caulk and sealing up the hole. But as I was trying to seal up the hole, they were trying to come inside. I'm like, really? I tried to seal it up outside the other day. And I think they like literally removed some of the caulking so they could still get in and out of it, which is crazy. But I did get the inside sealed up. but I had about 5 of them make it inside. Usually it was just like 1 or 2 every once in a while. I'd see 1 in here over the last like week or so. The second I go to try to seal it up, oh, they want to come in. But no, I've been seeing quite a bit of different bees. You got wasps, and some of these look like they're just the littler bees. I want to say they're honey bees, but yeah, they don't have all the big. They're not hornets or yellow jackets. Those are the big ones. And I did have another deer Friday morning. Caught it on the camera right here in my driveway, coming from the backyard next door, right across into my driveway and out the front at like 3:30, 3:40 in the morning. Pretty crazy. But I'm in this kind of an area, even though we're in the city here, right next to the river and irrigation canal, the big one that goes right here at the end of my street. So there's water here, and lots of wildlife on my street. I've seen all sorts of wildlife right here in my driveway, on the canal there, from coyotes. Oh, I got a little rabbit. And he's a wild rabbit. He just hangs out. He's all over here. He's hanging out in my yard, in my driveway. The turkey that I had here for the crap, that turkey hung around here for almost a month. I haven't seen him in about a week and a half. But yeah, we have quite a few. We got raccoons and coyote, fox, definitely deer. Lots. I've seen lots of deer up here on the canal. And of course we got the hawks. They clean up the squirrels. And oh, hummingbirds. Speaking of which, I should put up a hummingbird feeder. Hey Doug, how you doing, man? Don't know how to get on the live on Telegram? Go to the Telegram channel at the top. There's a little phone in the top part there when you go in there, and it'll say click on live stream, join the live stream. Fix it fast. Good to see you, man. Greg Danuck, good to see you. So same for you up there with the fires in Canada, huh? Not doing a whole lot about it. Yeah. And it doesn't smell or taste like a normal fire, right? Now the other night, watching the fire there, and all of a sudden a big, dark, black plume of smoke. So I was like, well, there went somebody's home up there. Thankfully, right over where the main part was, there isn't a lot of houses up there. That's all just sagebrush, and when you get up towards the top, there's some trees there, but Yeah, Doug, we have our so-called gun laws here. They finally made it where we don't even need a concealed carry permit in Idaho. And it was already, prior to that, outside of city limits. So I should clarify that uh, the way the code was before that was did not need a concealed weapons permit outside of city limits, only inside city limits. And then here, I guess it's been what? I probably should just double what I think the time frame was, just because time's going so by fast. So probably was like 5 or 6 years ago now that they just said, no, you don't need a concealed carry permit anywhere. So you figure it out over there, Doug? Oh, what I do. There we go. But yeah, typical Idaho here, we got lots of animals. CC from Alaska, good to see you. Jeanette Stewart, good to see you. Let's see who else just joined. Oh, that's just Greg, Doug. Okay. Oh, good times, folks. Just wish we could bring the people together, And I was asked about this yesterday, or was it yesterday or day before? Probably was yesterday. Even my days are blurring together right now. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, because I was busy Saturday for my birthday. Jeez. What was I going to say? Well, that's getting bad. Too much heat today. About what was going on. Was talking to Art. What were we talking about, Art? Are you on here tonight? Oh, about bringing the people together. The thing is there's so many Anavan rights and all this American state national stuff. Oh, you got to do all this stuff. No. We don't have to do anything. Just come together. That's where I'm at. That's my conclusion. We don't have to do anything. We just come together. Like literally meet up. Like going to church, right? Is there anything special you got to do to go to church and meet up? No, well, could be part of the smoke, but mostly the heat. Hot here. And a little bit humid. And then add the smoke. But, the thing is we need to come together. It's real simple. And like it says in the Idaho Constitution, the right of the people to peaceably assemble, to consult for their common good, and then to instruct their representatives. So, what is it that's stopping us from coming together? What is it? Can somebody explain to me what the issue here is? And here's the crazy thing, and my brother Tony Pellegrino basically has said to the effect that, well, Jesus couldn't even perform miracles in his own town. So it's like, I've been doing all of these live videos for what, since September of 2017. I was on Blog Talk Radio before that. Where are all my Idaho people, friends, that know me? How come they're not here watching right now? How come they're not watching them later? Yeah, I know, right, Jacqueline? Not a good combination, heat and the smoke. The old saying is, man, the smoke's so thick out here, you could cut it with a knife. And it is. It's like, it's literally just rolling down the road. I've got a cough drop in right now, just to help keep me from coughing so much while I'm trying to do the live. But yeah, but I'm talking, in part, like people in Idaho here, the go-getters, the people that are actively engaged in this stuff, Why are they not here? Why are they not trying to learn and connect with me? I don't. You would think if people really, really wanted to bring unity and come together and do something, I don't get it. There's so many people that they'll follow a certain somebody over there who just doesn't know a whole lot, just talks real good. And they'll get tons of followers. And some of these podcasters, and more, but I'm more referred to like our local people that are, patriot minded, American values, and trying to do something, bring awareness, what have you. But they won't just come together. Jeanette Stewart out here on YouTube, I'm guessing that's actually probably the bottom line right there, folks. And Jeanette says, what everyone says to me is, what can we do? You know how many times I've heard that? Well, what can we do? But they do nothing. They have to suffer more, I guess. And that's where I'm at. It sucks because those of us, like myself and like Tony and some other people, we've suffered enough and we're awake. But it takes more than just one to do something. And in part, I already knew that particular part, that, that's part of what's actually been going on, right? Is this stuff's being allowed to happen so that people will wake up. But it sucks for those of us that are already awake. But we have to wait. And, you know, I find it odd that people will sit back and say, trust the plan, and what's being said out there is that, well, we're just going to trust the plan, and, you know, we'll wait for the military, and da 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 da. And here I am trying to explain to people, yeah, the military's been called in. They're sitting there waiting for us. Here's the remedy, right? Because the reality here is the whole system is corrupt. Trump knows it. That's part of why Trump did and went through what he went through. He was essentially, you know, the two attempts to impeach Trump. That was to show the people how corrupt they are. Then all those cases in the judicial branch. Case after case after case. Just pure corruption. Right? These are all de facto kangaroo courts. These aren't legitimate courts. Right? Quantum Kid, we are conditioned in the nanny state. When are they going to do something? And he says, I tell them, they is you. It's us. I absolutely agree, Jeanette. It is a lonely place to be where we are. And we are absolutely the minority, no doubt. And yeah, we are the plan. I mean, you know, again, Trump said in his inauguration speech, January 20th of 2017, that he was putting the power back into the hands of the people. He's transferring the power from Washington, D.C. back to you, the people. And again, I keep saying this. What is that power? It's the all political power is inherent in the people. So it's just a matter of what can we do, right? That's always been the multi-million-dollar question. Well, what can we do? And you know, Jacqueline, the watch the show, get your popcorn on a national stage, right? But if we want to, or I should say, international stage. But if we actually want to clean up our local area, what's directly in front of us, we have to do something. We have to tell on them. And that's what's been put in place for us to do, is that remedy that didn't exist before has been created. This, in my mind, goes right back to Texas v. White, under Article 4, Section 4, to guarantee Republican form of government, to protect us from foreign invasion, and domestic violence, internal insurrection. So, the traditional remedies are out the window. They've been long gone. So the Texas v. White says that the president, only acting as commander-in-chief, has the power to set up provisional government pending the outcome of the war. This is that provisional government. Oh, welcome, Freedom Fighter. Good to see you. Glad you made it. Thank you. Oh, you would go there, Diesel D's. It's almost like it's the same thing, isn't it, Diesel D's? Right straight out of the Declaration of Independence. Experience has shown, and it's shewn, but anyways, that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. Yes, yes, Greg, and thank you. The other part of that, what Trump was saying was that, but it is up to the people to take their power back. And that's what I'm saying. We have to take the power. We have to claim and exercise it. It's not going to change on a local level if we don't do something about it. Yeah, that's great, Mark, but that's all code. That's Roman civil law. Right, I get that, Slim Frank, but that's again, okay. Here's Slim Frank's comment out here on YouTube. Think about it. If all the ones in Congress and DOJ are corrupt and have committed treason, Trump has assembled a certain amount of, we'll call them white hats, to take them down in perfect timing. That doesn't do anything on a local level, on a state level. That's the world stage. And that's, I guess, what it is. It's no, Roman civil law is a foreign jurisdiction. It doesn't belong here at all. We're supposed to have common law and real statutes. We don't have real statutes. It's all code, civil law, Roman civil law. And it was even being implemented clear back to 1845, and maybe even a little earlier there from my brother Rob found it. But man, I found in 1881 in Idaho the Code of Civil Procedure Act. I showed you guys that last week. Mark, AI told me 28 USC 3002 15A happened in 1990 and not 1871. Yeah. But yeah, I got to watch out for that AI stuff. Got folks out there, you just, Ooh, Slim Frank, that's an interesting comment. That you have the sauce on Pope Leo taking down the Vatican and Roman civil law. Well, from what I understand and what I've researched, it clear back in 2000, through 2017 through 2020, was the Vatican. The last time I had looked, the Vatican had been raided 6 times. So that stuff's already been taken down. Pope Leo, I haven't followed him. So, but if you've got some info on that, that'd be cool. Fix it fast. Still taking notes from last week's teachings. I know. I've talked to people about this, or they've talked to me about it. And sometimes talking to me is like drinking from a fire hose. So I get it. And I get that sometimes this is like completely new, right? Hey, Jennifer, good to see you. Sorry I haven't responded or called or anything. I've just been so freaking busy. You're one of those ones that can pretty much take care of yourself over there. So, but yeah, good stuff. What the heck? Hmm. What? What? Oh, man. That's crazy. Yeah. Warhorse for Liberty. Go federal. You're in Minnesota. Minnesota's corrupt to the core. Um, uh, Criminal complaint form A091. Warhorse for Liberty. Take that to the federal deputy attorney general in the district. And hopefully they're not corrupt there either. But could always send it to the attorney general, federal. And back to a comment that I saw earlier about the people being basically in fear, right? The people are afraid to stand up. And that right there, folks, is part of, I think, half of the root of the problem. The other half is a lack of knowledge. And it's really more of the lack of knowledge because, see, here's the reality. Knowledge literally empowers us. When you have this knowledge, and it doesn't matter what we're talking about. Knowledge in general, it empowers us, okay? Not just law, but riding a bicycle, right? Let's keep it simple. Anything that we do out here, knowledge literally empowers us. We don't fear when we have the knowledge. So this is what I see as part of the problem, is that we lack the knowledge on what can we do that answer that question of what can we do. You know, that's it. But yeah, I mean, you can use AI to a certain extent, but oh, the criminal complaint form, A091. Let's pull that up. Let's take people over there. We'll go through this again. Is it U.S. Dock Courts? No. Find a form. They have totally revamped this website. But let's go find a form. Search for forms. There it is. Right here. Criminal complaint form A091. Now they say over here, law enforcement, grand jury, and prosecution forms. Yeah, I want to prosecute these claims. And, well, if all of the power is inherent in the people, then we're the law enforcement. How they got the name of law enforcement, well, that's trickery. Now, we all have the right to file criminal complaints. Plain and simple. But there it is. Oh, it won't let me just open it up here on the screen, huh? I wonder. Oh, well, I guess it does. Now, here's the trick. Okay. Again, there's a little drop down box here. United States District Court for the. Click on that. You've got to figure out what district you're in, where the crime happened. Right? Because there's different districts. Now, unless you're in like, okay, Alaska, 1. Arizona, 1. Arkansas, they got 2. Oh, won't let me. Come on. See how Florida's got 3 there, Georgia's got 3, Guam's got 1, Hawaii's got 1, Idaho's got 1, Illinois has got 3, Indiana's got 2, Iowa's got 2, Kansas has got 1, Kentucky's got 2, Louisiana's got 3, Maine's got 1, Maryland 1, Massachusetts 1, Michigan 2, Minnesota's got 1, Mississippi's got 2, Missouri's got 2, Montana's got 1, Nebraska 1, Nevada 1, New Hampshire 1, New Jersey 1, New Mexico 1, New York has 4, North Carolina's got 3, North Dakota's got 1, Ohio's got 2, Oklahoma's got 3, Oregon's got 1, Pennsylvania's got 3. Okay, you see what I'm saying here, folks? You got to figure out what district, unless you're one of those states that just, it's only got 1. then you're okay. But you got to select that. And then, of course, what's their name? Worry about the case number. They'll fill that in later. I, the complainant, in this case, state that the following is true to the best of my knowledge and belief. On or about the dates of, in the county of, in the district of, the defendants violated. Now, this is where I go and try to show people how to do this. And, you know, this particular part here can be done on a state level too. Now this is the one time I'm using the code, right, against them, because that's what they're going by right now. But in reality, we all know that this is not. But you know, one of the biggest ones is the civil rights, right? 241 and 242, right? Deprivation of rights under color of law and conspiracy against rights. But 242 is the main one, right? And so watch this. 18 U.S. Code 242, deprivation of rights under color of law. Copy. We'll go over here to the criminal complaint form. I'll be damned. Code section and offense description. And we'll just paste that right in there. And then, like I said before, as I just cut this part out, and I paste it over here. There you go. That's it. There's your code section, and there's the offense description. And then this criminal complaint is based on these facts. Now, this is pretty small box to write the statement of facts in. So, what I usually say is, please see attached statement of facts. And then click the checkbox. Okay, and then you sign it and you print it. Now, if you're going to do this statement of facts, get it notarized under oath, not acknowledgement. It's a jurat. Okay? So, down here, the judge's signature, blah, 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 blah. Okay, when you file this in your federal district, right, this goes to the Attorney General, the Deputy Attorney General. Do not try to take this in and think that you can lay this before the court. We're not there yet. By all rights, yes, we're supposed to be able to fill out these complaints and lay them before a magistrate, and then we're supposed to have the hearing. The complainant is supposed to take the stand, be sworn in under oath, testify, reduced to writing, and subscribed. But the way it's been working is that this gets filed with the Attorney General, which is in a state is just a deputy attorney, because there's only one Attorney General federally. Okay? Everyone else in the states, they're all deputy attorney generals. So, you know, and that's it. Now, if you have some evidence to support your claims, then you can, you know, put that in there with that. But keep your statement of facts as an affidavit. Now, the one treatise on arrest and false imprisonment here. KirksLawCorner.com, my website. Number one go-to thing to read right here, treatise on arrest and false imprisonment. Okay. Now, for those of you not aware, this treatise on arrest and false imprisonment comes with a complaint form and a summons. There's the summons, right? Here's the summons. There's the complaint. Now, take a look at these statement of facts. And what I mean by short, clear, and concise statements of facts of who did what, where, and when. Okay? This isn't story time. Just the facts, ma'am. Nothing but the facts. On September 30th, 1992, plaintiff was traveling in his automobile on a public highway called I-35 West between Richfield and Minneapolis, going northbound when stopped by the defendant acting as a highway patrolman and employee of the state of Minnesota. The defendant asked plaintiff to see his driver's license. The plaintiff explained that he is not a licensee under any board or commission and is not required to be a licensee. The defendant insisted that plaintiff must have the said license. The defendant then arrested, searched, and handcuffed the plaintiff without warrant, and over his objections that defendant's acts were in violation of plaintiff's rights and the constitutional provisions of due process of law. Okay? So, the officer was being told. The defendant gave no specific charges to the plaintiff for his being stopped or for the arrest, nor did he advise him of his rights as shown in the defendant's field report, which contained only traffic misdemeanor charges. A copy of this report and official complaint was received by plaintiff 2 months after the arrest. Statement of facts. The defendant brought the plaintiff to the Hennepin County Jail, where the defendant knew that the plaintiff would be subject to booking, which included fingerprinting, photographing, and confinement for an indefinite period of time and possibly subject to other types of assaults and batteries. See, it's assault and battery. Okay? Further, the plaintiff, by his own admission, made no attempt to bring the defendant before a magistrate or judge when he had full opportunity to do so, being that the arrest occurred at 10:15 a.m. on a Wednesday. The defendant, acting on his own accord and without warrant or court order, had the plaintiff's automobile towed to an impound lot and put it on a hold order. Okay. There's your statement of facts of who did what. See how short and clear and concise this is, folks? This is what is meant by short, clear, and concise. It's the 4 W's of who did what, where, and when. Okay? Count 1. Plaintiff realleges. Now, when you come over here on this criminal complaint, each one of these, when you put down a code section and a deprivation of rights under color of law, that's count 1. Now, if they violated several rights, you could put here, let's say, times 10. You violated this sucker 10 times. You got 10 counts. You could even write 10 counts. Now, false imprisonment is the number one thing, right? When they deprive us of our liberty without lawful authority from the law of the land, that's why this is deprivation of rights under color of law. But if you'll notice here, this is what I like about this. What is he actually citing as the law? On September 30th, 1960, you're re-alleging 1 through 7. On September 30th, 1960, the defendant, without warrant or due process of law, Minnesota Constitution, Article 1, Section 7. That's the law. Unlawfully arrested the plaintiff and acting contrary to law, did falsely imprison the plaintiff, depriving him of his liberty. As a result of defendant's false imprisonment of the plaintiff had his right to liberty violated, suffered mental anguish, a loss of time and wages in his work, and a discredit in his reputation by his failure to attend a scheduled meeting. That's the actual damages. Count 2, another count of false imprisonment. The defendant, upon arresting plaintiff, brought him to the county jail for the purpose of booking and detaining him, and by his own admission, made no attempt to bring the plaintiff before a proper judge or court, as is required by due process. Minnesota Constitution, Article 1, Section 2. That's right. And it's actually kidnapping. That should be kidnapping there. Because remember, whoever under color of any law, statute, ordinance, regulation, or custom, notice it doesn't say code. How come it doesn't say code? Oh. Willfully subjects any person in any state, territory, commonwealth, possession, or district to the deprivation of any rights, privileges, or immunities secured or protected by the Constitution or laws of the United States, or to different punishments, pains, or penalties on account of such person being an alien, or by reason of his color or race, than are prescribed for the punishment of citizens, shall be fined under this title of imprisonment not more than 1 year or both. Now, here's the thing. This is why I keep saying about the Civil Rights Act, because that's where this comes from. This is for what? Yeah. Color or race. But keep using it. It don't matter. But look what it says here. Where was it? What? Oh, wait. And if death results from the acts committed in violation of this section, or if such acts include kidnapping or an attempt to kidnap, aggravated sexual abuse, or attempt to commit aggravated or an attempt to kill, shall be fined in this title or imprisoned for any terms, years, or for life, or both, or may be sentenced to death. That's right, because murder, rape, kidnapping are capital crimes from the common law. No, Mark, code is not a statute. Code is simply just code. Statutes don't mention anything about code. Code is Roman civil law. That's a completely foreign jurisdiction. We need to grasp this concept. Totally different body of law, how it works, the whole 9 yards. But, you know, the thing is here is that this is a death sentence. So when you're looking at this treatise on arrest and false imprisonment, yeah, there should be kidnapping in here. Now, in this treatise on arrest and false imprisonment, it does have the Transavant case in here, which ends up being, I can't remember how much it is per minute. And then see here how he files a memorandum of law on arrest without warrant. Now, this needs to be updated, right? As of finding State versus Clark in Idaho case, and of course, what I had previously cited, you know, Blackstone's Commentaries on the Laws of England, which is exactly what the Idaho Supreme Court cited, and which is this volume right here, Book 4, Section 289. Now it'll be a little rough here, but let's pull that up, because again, you know, it would behoove us to read this stuff, because this is their number one go-to now. It's in cases all over the place now. They're citing their number one source is Blackstone's Commentaries on the Laws of England. Supreme Court of the United States of America and state Supreme Courts. So when we look at down here, we'll go to Book the 3rd, Book the 4th of Public Wrongs, and it's going to be Section 289, which should be of arrests. Pretty sure. Yep, gonna be right here. We are now to consider the regular and ordinary method of proceeding in the courts of criminal jurisdiction, which may be distributed under 12 general heads, following each other in a progressive order. 1, arrest. 2, commitment and bail. 3 is prosecution. 4 is process. 5 is arraignment. Whoa, wait a minute. Don't they skip? They just skip from arrest right to arraignment, don't they? Arraignment and its incidents, plea and issue, trial and conviction. 8, clergy. 9, judgment and its consequences. Consequence. 10, reversal of judgment, reprieve or pardon, execution, all which will be discussed in the subsequent part of this book. First then, of an arrest, which is the apprehending or restraining of one's person in order to be forthcoming to answer an alleged or suspected crime. So, it becomes false imprisonment when you arrest someone you do not have lawful authority to make an arrest, right? An arrest is, hey, you stop. But see, to be forthcoming to answer an alleged or suspected crime. What's the crime? To this arrest all persons whatsoever are without distinction equally liable to all criminal cases. But no man is to be arrested unless charged with such a crime as will at least justify holding him to bail when taken. and in general, an arrest may be made 4 ways. 1, by warrant, by an officer without a warrant, by a private person also without a warrant, and by a hue and cry. Now, I don't know about the hue and cry, but I don't see why not. But this is real simple, folks. This is that knowledge is power, folks. When you gain this knowledge, is where it's at. A warrant may be granted in extraordinary cases by the Privy Council, Secretaries of State, but ordinarily by justices of the peace. This they may do in any case where they have a jurisdiction over the offense. In order to compel the person accused to appear before them, not to take them to jail. For it would be absurd to give them power to examine an offender unless they had also power to compel him to attend and submit to such examination. And this extends undoubtedly to all treasons, felonies, and breaches of the peace, and also to such offenses as they have power to punish by statute. Sir Edward Coke, indeed, hath laid it down that a justice of the peace cannot issue a warrant to apprehend a felon upon bare suspicion. No, not even till an indictment be actually found. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, you can't even issue a warrant unless there's an indictment? Uh-oh. And the contrary practice is by others held to be grounded rather upon convenience than the express rule of law. Though now by long custom established, a doctrine which would in most cases give a loose to felons to escape without punishment, and therefore Sir Matthew Hale hath combated it with invincible authority and strength of reason, maintaining, 1, that a justice of the peace hath power to issue a warrant to apprehend a person accused of a felony, though not yet indicted. Letter E. 2 Hal PC 108, whatever that is. And 2, that he may also issue a warrant to apprehend a person suspected of felony, though the original suspicion be not in himself, but in the party that prays his warrant. You mean the injured party? The actual complainant who lays a complaint before a justice of the peace? Because he is a confident judge of the probability offered to him of such suspicion. But in both cases, it is fitting to examine upon oath. Oh, that's right. The Fourth Amendment requires under oath or affirmation that the party requiring a warrant, as well to ascertain that there is a felony or other crime actually committed, without which no warrant should be granted. See, what they're doing today is the officer makes the arrest, and they just automatically say, yep, that's a crime, and you're being arrested, without any judicial branch. But here's the rule of law, is also to prove the cause and probability of suspecting the party. You mean like probable cause? You gotta prove it in the beginning. Against whom the warrant is prayed. This warrant ought to be under the hand and seal of the justice. Should set forth the time and place of making and the cause for which it is made, and should be directed to the constable or to other peace officer, requiring him to bring the party either generally before any justice of the peace for the county, or only before the justice who granted it. Where does it say taking them to jail? The warrant in the latter case being called a special warrant. Oh, really? A general warrant to apprehend all persons suspected without naming or particularly describing any person is special, is illegal and void for its uncertainty. For it is the duty of the magistrate, and ought not be left to the officer, to judge of the ground of suspicion. And a warrant to apprehend all persons guilty of a crime therein specified is no legal warrant. For the point upon which its authority rests is a fact to be decided on subsequent trial, namely, whether the person apprehended thereupon be really guilty or not. It is therefore, in fact, no warrant at all, for it will not justify the officer who acts under it, whereas a lawful warrant will at all events indemnify the officer who executes the same ministerially. When a warrant is received by the officer, he is bound to execute it, so far as the jurisdiction of the magistrate and himself extends. A warrant from the chief or other justice of the Court of King's Bench extends all over the kingdom and is tested or dated England, not Oxford, Berks, or the particular county. But the warrant of justice of the peace in one county, as Yorkshire, must be backed, that is, signed by a justice of the peace in another, as Middlesex, before it can be executed there. Formally, regularly speaking, there ought to have been a fresh those are there. A fresh warrant in every fresh county. But the practice of backing warrants had long prevailed without law, and was at last authorized by statutes 23 George II. Now, we're getting here, right here. Right? This is it. Oh, I gotta put this in. I took my thing out. My USB drive out. Gotta plug it in. Here we go. And of course that'll come right up. There it is. I'm going to pull up this State versus Clark case because we're right here at that section 289. Look at that. It pulled up right where I left off the one time. That's crazy. This was a fresh open. But here it is. This is the Idaho Supreme Court 2019, State versus Clark. Okay? We have explained the significance of case law and statutes existing in 1889 as follows. Because many of the delegates of the Constitutional Convention were outstanding lawyers in their day, we generally presume that they knew and acted on such prior contemporaneous interpretations of constitutional words which they used. Okay? Thus, a review of the common law is in order. Why are they having to review the common law? I thought the Idaho Code was the law. No, it is not, folks. They have to go back to the common law. And this is pursuant to Trump's proclamation reestablishing the rule of law, the common law. which I put that out a long time ago. That was 2018. Okay? I told you back then, folks, that we had a return to the common law. Here it is in 2019 in the Idaho Supreme Court. What is the first thing they're citing? Blackstone's Commentaries on the Law of England, Book 4, Section 289. This is the review of the common law, the rule of law. The constable hath great original inherent authority with regards to arrests. He may, without warrant, arrest anyone for a breach of the peace. And what? Carry him before a justice of the peace. And in case of felony actually committed, or a dangerous wounding whereby felony is like to ensue, he may, upon probable cause suspicion, arrest the felon. Where does it say anything else without a warrant? That's it. So let's go back over here to actual Blackstone's Commentaries on the Laws of England, Book 4, right here. See that? P289. That's Section 289. We're right here. Arrest by officers without warrant may be executed by a justice of the peace, who may himself apprehend or cause to be apprehended by word only any person committed a felony or breach of the peace in his presence. Gotta be in his presence. Number 2, the sheriff. And 3, the coroner may apprehend any felon within the county without warrant. Number 4, the constable, of whose office we formerly spoke, hath great original and inherent authority with regard to arrest. He may, without warrant, arrest anyone for a breach of the peace and carry him before a justice of the peace. And in case of felony actually committed or a dangerous wounding whereby felony is like to ensue, he may, upon probable suspicion, arrest the felon, and for that purpose is authorized, as upon justice's warrants, to break open doors and even to kill the felon if he cannot otherwise be taken. How come they didn't continue citing that? But the thing is, there it is. Without a warrant, that's it. That's the only thing you can make an arrest for is breach of the peace or a felony. That's it. And like I've said before, now when we go read the Fourth Amendment, doesn't this make more sense? Our right to be what? Secure. And pay close attention here and use the proper words here. The right of the people, not American state nationals, not citizens. It's the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated. Okay, the unreasonable search and seizure, as if it's not a breach of the peace or felony, it's unreasonable without a warrant. Now look, understand the next part. And no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. In other words, there has to be an actual address. Where are you searching? Well, anywhere in the state of Idaho. That is not a legitimate, lawful warrant. But back up for a second. It says, and no warrant shall issue. Well, we got probable cause. Then go get a warrant. If you've got probable cause, follow our right and due process of law from the law of the land and go get yourself a warrant. Because you don't have any lawful authority without a warrant. Well, I got probable cause to get a warrant, but not to make an arrest. But I got probable cause to get a warrant. I missed that part all these years. But see, now that I have Blackstone's Commentaries on the Laws of England, thank you, Jacqueline, who purchased all 4 of these, which are the exact version, printed version, that they're using, that the Supreme Court of the United States of America have been citing from New York State Rifle Pistol Association versus Bruin case in June of 2022. They went straight to Blackstone's Commentaries on the Laws of England, #1 source. Idaho Supreme Court, #1 source. Okay? So, if they don't have a warrant, what can they make an arrest for? Well, I got probable cause. Resisting and obstructing. No, that's not a felony, and it sure isn't a breach of the peace. That's unlawful and unconstitutional. And no authority. Okay? And then, well, let me go from that screen. The second source here that they're citing from, right, is this Stephan guy. But I want to reiterate what he's saying here. By 1883, a scholar of the common law wrote, there were, and indeed still, a very good many differences of the considerable importance of the procedure relating to the prosecution of felonies and misdemeanors, respectively. The most important are that, again, this is italicized. This is a direct quote. As a rule, as in rule of law, of the common law, a person cannot be arrested for a misdemeanor without a warrant. Does that not make more sense with the Fourth Amendment now? What it means to be secure in our persons, papers, houses, and effects? And it shall not be infringed. Shall not be violated. That Fourth Amendment tells government to kick rocks. Get out of my privacy. Leave me alone. You have no lawful authority to harass me. You can't, well, I'm just detaining you. You're being detained. No, I'm being deprived of my liberty without lawful authority. Now, there's the rule of law. Okay? And what do they say? Stephan, History of the Criminal Law of England, section 193, or page 193. Emphasis added. That's the italic part. They emphasized, the Idaho Supreme Court emphasized the rule of the common law. And what do they say? The common law, as it developed throughout the United States prior to 1889, appears to have been unanimous in agreement with that articulated above. Oh, let's Commonwealth of versus McLaughlin in Massachusetts in 1853. Peace officers may, without warrant, arrest a party whom they have reasonable ground to suspect of committing a felony. But a peace officer cannot arrest one without a warrant who is suspected of having committed a crime, not a felony. We're done. This shuts down all the government overreach. Should try what? What, Mark? Oh, yeah. Mark, I've actually been down the rabbit hole with AI. Before it did the change, there was a change that came about. It was in agreement with me about the bar and all that crap when I dropped Chris's petition and John Gentry's compilation report. And then when the kicker was the one, the CIA released document there, but it's actually the Communist Lawyers Guild report from Congress. Is 1956, exposing the Communist Lawyers Guild, the whole frickin' the bar. When I dropped it in there, oh boy, did it crap. The AI was all over that and was like, holy crap, yeah, you got a whole lot of stuff here, and yeah, you're right. And then AI, something happened with AI, and they made a change. And I came back and was arguing with them again about it, and I spent like 6.5 hours battling it out with AI. And then when I went back to it again, to do it again, AI was like, nope, you're wrong. I'm like, that's weird. And I'm getting a completely different answer than I got prior. But, yeah, I mean, in my personal case here, at the day of trial, I was arguing this stuff, and I brought up State versus Clark. Now, keep in mind, I had a stand-in judge who was called in at 8:30 p.m. the night before trial to come preside over this trial. And he doubled down and was like, oh, no, I'm familiar with State versus Clark. The merits of the case. And it's crazy because in my original motion to dismiss and motion to suppress and my memorandum of law with points of authority, this is exactly what I cited, except for I cited it more in line with what exactly was written there from Blackstone. They cut it off. There's more. But, yeah, I cited that directly right in the very beginning of my case when I did my motion to dismiss and motion to suppress and did my memorandum of law and support. So, gee, I can't be that far off if they're citing it in State versus Clark in 2019. But like I said, I brought this up and I was reading directly from State versus Clark, including that case right there. I read this stuff to him. And he's like, oh, no. I'm familiar with State versus Clark. That's not what it says. That's not the merits of the case. I'm like, it's the rule of law. I'm reading directly, quoting from State versus Clark. Nope. So, this is going to be a battle, and like I have explained to people before, is that the first court we go into, the trial court, no matter where you're at, what it is, it's the first court, it's the trial court. Okay? Doesn't matter. It's back to a kangaroo court. They're by evil designed to deny rights, deny justice, and make us fight. They do not want to grant us relief when we call them out in the trial court. They can't let us win. We have to fight all the way up to the Supreme Court. So, fine. You want to play that game with me? We're here. That's where I'm at. I'm going to cram this crap down their throat. And I'm standing up for our rights, and I'm demanding justice, and I'm demanding the people be freed. Okay? Yep, that's right, James. I am man, creation of God, endowed by my Creator with certain unalienable rights. Among these is life, liberty, and property. So, they don't get to identify me. I say who I am and how I'm appearing. So, that's the law. But is there any man out there who can rebut that? Anybody? Anybody out there think they can prove that I am not a man, creation of God? I'm not going to wait around for that one. So, anyways, there you have it, folks. There's kind of a brief overview about criminal complaints, how we're supposed to be doing them, what we can do. That's answering the question, well, what can we do? We can file complaints. Okay? So, if you'd like to help support me over here in my endeavors and everything else I got going on, plus still being here to provide education on Monday nights and Wednesday nights, Wednesday night workshop over there through Patreon. Donate through the Buy Me a Coffee link that's in the description below. Subscribe over on Patreon, either Tier 1, Tier 2, $5, $10 a month. You can even make one donation of $100 and cancel. Whatever, however you decide you want to donate over there, or you can send it to me over at the office. Address is on my website, kirkslawcorner.com. 6477 West Fairview Avenue. I'm actually in Suite E now. I moved to a different office in the same building. But it doesn't matter, it still gets to me. It'll be in the main lobby. Anyways, Boise, Idaho 83704. Good old cash wrapped in aluminum foil, any gold, silver coinage, anything like that. Send it through the snail mail. It'll get to me. Other than that, through Patreon, you want to get in on Wednesday night workshops. That's Tier 3. If you're looking for one-on-one time with me, you want dedicated time with me, kirkslawcorner.com. Links to Patreon are there. Tier 4 is for the one-on-ones, okay? Awesome, Fix It Fast. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And I do want to shout out to those that have donated, supported, especially those in Tier 3, Wednesday Night Workshop, Diesel D's, especially Jacqueline, Wendy, for the books even, like that's support too. I mean, granted, I've kind of slowed down on my reading. I mean, what else do I need? What else do I really need to read? It's all right here now. I've read it. I've read all 4 volumes of Blackstone's Commentaries on the Laws of England. I need to finish reading that Stephan, because they're citing from that. But that's it. You know, what else do we really need? My brother Rob out here locally, I went out and had dinner with him at his place on Friday there. And was it Friday or was it Thursday? Thursday night. Got some other stuff that I could read, especially in relating to directly to Idaho. He did buy this book for me one time, and I just set it to the side. I haven't broke it out, but I guess it's William McClay or something like that. He was on part of the Idaho stuff. So, according to what Rob's saying, there's some really good stuff in there. Really good stuff. So, I do have more reading to read, but of course, Reading means reading, right? Knowledge is power, folks. If we're not reading, we're not gaining the knowledge. And you can only gain so much from sitting here, right? But I do appreciate everybody's, attentiveness to be here and willingness to learn. Because that's what it's going to take, right? To overcome the fear of standing up and doing something. But I'm begging the people to come together in a local area and start communicating, start working together. Jeanette Stewart, exactly. Learn how to use it. Self-govern. All political power is inherent in the people. We have the right to alter, reform, or abolish anything at any time we deem it necessary. But we have to come together. We got to assemble the people. Okay? So, God bless. Much love. Hope everybody has a wonderful night. And those of us covered in smoke, breathe easy, folks. Stay inside as much as possible. Hey, wear a mask. It's a dust mask, right? In a time when it actually would work. But other than that, stay inside. Preaching in the choir, I know I got stuff I got to get done. So it is what it is. God bless. Much love, everybody. Thank you all for being here. And we'll see you on Wednesday night for Wednesday night workshop for those in there. And for the rest of you, we'll see you back here Monday Night Law next week.